Okay, taking a look at domain number 4. We're starting with 4B, maintaining accurate records. All right, student completion of assignments. Let's get right to it. Okay, we're going to start out with the Mr. Conover's English webpage, www.mrconover.webs.com. Gives a little overview of who I am and things like that, but we'll talk about that later. We want to talk about completion of assignments, and where do you start? With a tentative schedule. Each week we produce and link a weekly assignment sheet giving weekly objectives, what's due that day, what's going on in class, and what's due throughout the week, giving in bold what day it's due. We do that for every day, Monday through Friday, of course, with our weekly vocabulary, weekly goals, all that good stuff, and that is posted there along with a video beneath it that we upload each week with my face and my voice telling them exactly what is due in case there's any questions for that. That weekly assignment sheet is not only posted on the website, but is also sent out to people via Edmodo, okay? Through all of my periods, 2, 4, 6, whatever, all my periods are sent the weekly assignment sheet right there. It is the same document right there, and it is sent individually to them through the Edmodo site, just like I was sending them their own email, okay? So it's sent directly to them and they can check that at any time, right, as a PDF document. It is also printed and given to them each Monday for those students who don't have computer access. So that is one of our first pieces of the domain. We have the teacher website and the Edmodo, printed, posted, and sent. And of course, why not talk about my weekly video? Every week we do a video, or I try every week anyway, to do a video on Mr. Conover's YouTube channel. It is embedded, that video, into my website and uploaded to Edmodo so that students can hear it right from me in case there's any questions, and parents in case they have any questions, eliminating any confusion with that. So it's total communication in 3 different ways. To expedite the process of homework, also we use Edmodo to be done a lot of assignments right online. Here's a good example. Weekly vocabulary 21. Number 21, define the words and create an original sentence. We do this every week. It's due on Friday. How do they see that? Of course, they go right to the calendar feature of Edmodo and look at that. We've done that all year long, in April and March and February. Every week they can get a glimpse at what the assignment is, and I can quickly see who did it, and they can take a little ownership of it, doing it online. So it expedites the process of homework and gives them another option for that. And for those students who don't have it done, we give them one more chance with something called a homework excuse sheet to make them a little accountable for what's going on. If they don't finish their homework, they only get half credit on it. They must fill out a homework excuse sheet just to turn it in, giving me the information behind it and sign off on it so we know that that is late and we can keep track of who's turning in homework when. Okay, and of course, the record keeping process for that is through SIS data, which we all use here at Shen. Figuring out who's doing what, if they're absent, if they're missing assignments. Students have access to the portal themselves. They all know how to do that. Parents have access to the portal. They can see their grades, missing assignments, and whatnot. All of that good stuff. Another thing, now of course we're into student progress and learning, and we can see that that is also kind of gives them an idea of if they're making progress, or obviously their grade reflects if they are not. We therefore go into the second piece of progress, which is the common assessments. Okay, each student takes a common assessment, okay, throughout the different parts of the year before their big state exam to see their skill deficiencies and see where we can improve. This common assessment data is analyzed into a spreadsheet. Each student gets their own personal ID number. We go through, we see who's doing well, we see who's maybe falling short. We highlight that. We don't divulge any identities, but it gives me a little indication. Well, we do post that for them, though, as a class to see where, as a class, we're kind of coming short with our mean score, and of course, what questions are under 80%. We can highlight and show them and analyze those questions. You can see for this particular common assessment number 2, they were just under 80%, so we were able to just go over those a little bit, and one fell way short, so we can really take a look at those particular skills. At the end of the year, we put them into a master list, and we go through and see how they've improved percentage-wise, point total wise, and we can highlight according to who's improving from one to the other, an increase from 2 to 3, an increase from 1 to 3 within 3 common assessments, and analyze the data, seeing where they may have fallen short holistically and individually. Last but not least, we have we incorporate into our units. We do a lot of things with if we take a look at some pre-assessments for concepts, I like to give them little pre-tests or little diagnostic quizzes to see how sure they are of certain concepts, and we can either test them on paper, or what I like to do currently, of course, through Edmodo, which is kind of a neat option, is to give them all a little bit of a quiz based upon an online quiz, I should say, based upon different concepts. Here's one with poetic terms that we recently took. It gives them the breakdown and the score and instantly grades it, so we don't have to waste time grading it, but it also gives us an overview of what questions they're totally having trouble with as a class, of course individually as well, but it gives them and saying, okay, we need to focus on this concept because that is a hard one, and maybe they're not doing so well on that. And it's kind of the same thing the common assessments do, but on a smaller level, and you can do it more quickly. Of course, we want to keep our students reading, and we can give them little benchmarks, little short quizzes, DIRT quizzes. Did you read this? DYRT is the acronym for that. Either I've given multiple choice, I've given short answers, true, false, all kinds of things. This is currently we're doing pay it forward, so that might be a good option for that, to kind of check their progress as they go through. And of course, last but not least, we like to have students do what they call video blogs. You can see examples of all icons. You know, these are actually for book talks, but in the same concept, they've all created a series of video blogs that go through and explain a little reflection, because I think reflection is important. They do those video reflections. They also do written reflections based upon their own websites that they've created. If you look here, we go to their reflection tab. This happens to be one of my students. Looks like she's reflected on some tests that she's taken. Common assessment number 1, she got 100 on, but it looks like common assessment she got 2 questions incorrect, and she's giving some reasons and what skills she needs to work on next time. So written reflection, video reflection, all on their minds, of course, of what they need to do for next time and what skills they need to work on as they're going through them. Of course, we like to also give them this. I like to give them this, I should say. ELA progress chart, so they can see where they're doing. They can take a look at the dates that they've taken, their section score, their percent score. We put this in their ELA folders, and they're able to do that. They take a look at their questions, the skills mastered, the skills that are still deficient. Of course, they can reflect on those skills through a little bit of writing, of course, you know, kind of a basis for those online web reflections to kind of help them out. And of course, where does this go? This goes into their ELA folder. We keep them all very organized, and I'll show you. I know it's a little sideways, but you can see Victoria's ELA folder. In that folder, she's got some contents. There's a lot of the common assessments themselves. We like to keep them all together so they can see right across the board 1, 2, and 3. They can take a quick look at their progress when they reflect on it. And of course, we have to keep other materials in there as well, all together. Any written reflections, any assignments, review sheets, and of course a skill building sheet, so they can highlight the specific skills the state has highlighted or showcased here and say, oh, I'm deficient in this area. I really need to work on it. I'm going to put that in my reflection, and of course I'm going to do it the next time. From a non-instructional record standpoint, if we look at that and we take a quick look, there's all kinds of things that probably we can't even prove. Things like you know, book sign-out sheets and field trip money collected. But there's a couple of things, of course. I'd like to know who our students are, of course, by having them create a home page. Give us a little bit of what they like to read, what they like to do in their spare time. That gives us a little data on who our students are. Of course, we like to keep in touch with what they're doing. So we'll often give them little surveys about like personal things, about maybe something that's related to our curriculum, but also not. Little sir, have you performed a random act of kindness today? And they answer those questions. We tie it in. They're able to do a little social networking, tell me what they did. I held the door for my sister. I helped my sister with her homework. It's really nice. And I can say, good job, guys. So it's constantly maintaining that professional relationship with those students, you know, and keep track of their learning and keep track of who they are, knowing them. So that is component 4B. And we are hopefully moving right along to 4C, communicating with families.